discussed about what is media plan, and we were discussing about problems and many different media we have discussed. Evaluation of media. So in that we discussed about broadcast media, print media, support media, and direct marketing and interactive marketing. Okay. So here we discuss about direct mail, internet, and interactive media. Okay. So here every company will evaluate these all the options which will be available with the company to go ahead with their media plan. But the company need to assess these things, you know, clearly that which media will be better, what are its positive side and negative sides, and how which is more suitable to pick, and a lot of things which come along with that. The cost involved, and the kind of advertising agency would like tie up the advertising budget. Everything comes. They have to keep in mind, and based considering all those factors, they have to understand that which media, whether all this we should go, or should we be selective in choosing only few out of the available options. Okay, so we discussed all this, we are in the previous class about its advantages and disadvantages and everything. Today we will discuss about the creative strategy, because we are discussing advertisement. Then we have to discuss about media strategy, that is creativity in media strategy. So why creativity? Because without creativity, we know that how the ad will come out. Um we find that every new ad will be some freshness will be there in that ad, and some creativity will be there in that ad. So you have to see that we have to discuss that matter today, that topic. So here, media strategy and creativity. So what happens is, like, good creative strategy and execution can often be essential and to determining the success of the product or service. So they clearly says that good creative strategy and implementing, executing that and implementing, can often be a central to the determining the success of the product or service. Because we have been studying from the first semester marketing management. In that one aspect under the marketing mix, it comes a promotion. Under that we come across we have also studied STP, segmentation, targeting, positioning. And we know that if we have a best product, we have best service, and we have given some brand name and everything, we have, but it is how we are going to position that, and how the positioning is done through the form of communication. So communication is through the advertisement or through the various media which is available. How you want to position? So over there involves the behind the creativity. So how creative, what kind of ad you're going to develop, and how would like to position your product or service or a brand in the minds of the consumers. Okay, that is most important, and how that will have an influence on the consumers, and that in return how it will change their whole perspective, and how they will start buying, decide on that, makes a difference, and based on that they will decide, get attracted, and it grabs attention, and later they feel that the ad should persuade them, and based on that they will end up buying the product or services. So it's very important how we positioning. So it's very much important that having the right kind of message or communication, and that's through the right kind of proper an ad, good ad, which should be a creative. And there are different kinds of ad, you can develop. So here, a company's product or brand or service can be made successful with a very creative media strategy. Okay, so if the company is not been doing good and the sales are down, not good, doing the particular brand is not doing good. But if the company works on a right kind of media, strategy, on the right kind of creative ad or a creative communication or creative, ad, if they design and come out and execute, plan and execute, I think that will whole change, because if the company was doing the loss in a particular product or service, that will be changed because of this. So that is there. And if, because we have to also should be understand the other part of it. If poorly conceived or executed ad, what happens? If purely or done the create develop the ad, and you implemented that ad, and that might be a, instead of doing any positive, it will give you more negativity to the company or a brand. So it will be a liability. It says that this can be a liability. That is also possible. And we have seen that many brands have failed because of the poor ads, poor communication, poor message, okay, and choosing a wrong media form of media. So that's the reason. Please be aware now. This has a huge impact on the uh, company. So let's look at the advertising creative, because as we talk about the creativity, obviously we are looking at the advertising creativity. It says that is the ability to generate fresh, unique, and appropriate ideas that can be used as a solutions to the communication problems. So creativity is something which brings in something new, which brings in something freshness. Okay, it should be unique. It should be different. Okay, and it should grab an attention, and it should be appropriate. The right kind. With a lot of right kind of idea behind it. Okay, and that will help in bringing and getting the solutions to the problems. Example, a company or something you are finding that you have to consider as a problem, or that is considered as an objective. So accordingly, you need to come out with the creative idea or creative advertisement, and that will bring a lot of freshness, and that will solve a lot of problems. Okay, so very important. Okay, so each one nowadays, that we have been seeing a lot of ads, and in this difficult situations, whenever there is controversy, whenever there is something which is of a serious inform and news or something is there, so even companies also try to take that advantage and be part of that situation. If it is a lot of companies have taking clues from they take a clue from the present situation, and accordingly they develop ad. Example, now this social distancing. So social distancing also one way the many company use that topic itself and come out with the ad. So using that, what happens, like, you're creating one social awareness, and apart from that, you're presently relating your company ad or a product to the present situation, so that uh, the people remember that, it will grab an attention, and it will create some powerful what I would say, it will have, make a difference, in the minds of the consumers. It's going to create some appeal in the minds of the consumers. Okay, that's the reason it's very important. You know, need to have a creative ad. Okay, to be appropriate and effective, a creative idea must be relevant to the largest audience. Okay, so many agencies, ad agencies, recognize the importance of developing advertising that is creative and different. It communicates relevant information to the largest audience or a target audience. So what is very important when you develop a creative? So that will reach. You should be clear about whom you would like to reach, the target audience. The ad, the creative ad should be relevant to the target audience. If that whatever you ad you developed is not relevant, then it loses the whole purpose. Okay, so that is not right. So that's the reason it's very important to have that, and it should communicate effectively. Okay, it should create some difference. Okay, it should differentiate between the product and whatever, it's according to your plan. Okay, so it should communicate accordingly the all the relevant information to the target audience, and that could be only done through the advertising creativity. Okay, so in that there are three steps usually followed in the media strategy. First one is under creative media strategy for creativity. In that, first one will be planning a creative strategy. Every company need to plan what kind of creative strategy I'm going to have. Okay, when I would like to target my consumers. Okay, it says that this is going to be a most challenging job in the advertising, because the planning stage involves in-depth research on the target audience, product positioning, and the communication media to create advertising beliefs, advertising message, and formulate various tactics to address the target audience. So that clearly defines, that clearly tells you that how challenging is the planning. The company need to plan for a creative. It's a first step. Need to plan for a creative strategy. So in this planning stage, you have to do a research, because you know that market analysis or presently you need to get the maximum information which is available in the market, the kind of market we have, the condition, the consumers, the competitors in advertisements. Now everything, all information you require. So when you have that kind of information, that data, that information will help you in coming out with the right kind of that will pave the way in developing the right kind of creativity, using the right kind of creativity to target the target, target audience or consumers. Okay, so and apart from that, the company need to have a clarity, about what kind of product or services they are going to launch or want to market. Okay, how they would like to position that product. Okay, and what kind of communications media means what kind of, whether broadcast media or print media, what kind of media they are going to select and going to give the advertisements, what kind of advertising beliefs, message, the message it includes, like it might be a empathy, emotional, humorous, or rational, creative, there are different kinds of things you can, through which you can appeal the, different appeals you can use, okay, to reach out to the target consumer. So these all things need to be done, all tactics, strategies, everything to reach to the target audience. So this planning need to be done. That's called a creative planning, a creative strategy. So it involves decision making regarding the target audience, product positioning, advertising appeals, everything, type of media, everything. So it's like everything you're going to decide, you're going to plan for everything. Okay. So first step, that's the reason under media strategy, and it's all creativity is important. It covers the planning a creative strategy. You want to plan for a creative strategy, then you have to consider all these factors, everything. How you want to position, how you're going to go with select which media you want to select, the message you would like to have, what kind of appeal you would like to carry in your advertisements, all those things. And this also include this. These are the factors you need to consider under planning and creative strategy. One is the creative challenge, taking creative risk, and creative personnel. So first one is a creative challenge. What is the challenge you might face? Because first you need to understand the target audience. Whether the creativity, the example, you're going to create an advertisement, whether the consumers will accept as it is, the way you want to communicate, accordingly they will absorb or not, whether they'll be receptive, or that creative strategy will be taken well or not. So it's a lot of challenge, what kind of creative strategies were suited to what kind is to come out with. So these all things are there. It's not an easy, it's not an easy task. Like there is always a fear that how the target audience will receive that. That's the reason second one it takes that taking creative risk, because when you want to have a creative challenge, you would like to come out a creative ad, it always carries a creative risk, because many cases what happens, it will look creative for you. Okay, you are develop a creative ad, you are going to execute and you're going to air that, you're going to give that ad, but immediately the consumers feel that there is something offending, they do not like, it hurts their feelings, it hurts their something, but you wanted to convey something, you never wanted to hurt anybody, but through that, that kind of ad you developed, but end of the day what has happened, so people have not taken it properly. Okay, they didn't like it, so it has a more negative effect. So you're taking a risk because you're experimenting, you're going out, you're coming out with something. So that challenge and creative personnel, because the people who are involved in developing the ad, the creative people, like ad agency, in the ad agency there is a team who will be working on developing an ad, okay, with the right kind of information taken from the company, the content, the people are involved, what they come from the different background, and they have a different perception, all those things, and that will also info their education background, how many people are from the ad trained people as expert in advertisement, how many people are from the journalism, how many people are then from the different domain, how each one is contributing, and how their thoughts and their they have an influence on the creativity. That's the reason. That is also there. The people involved in the creative people involved in the developing an ad is also have an influence on to coming out with the right kind of a creative strategy. They'll influence because these are the factors need to be considered, because unless it happens properly, then things will not be right for you. Things will not, because we have seen certain ads like very humorous ads like Feviquick, Fevicol, sorry, Fevicol, even Feviquick. Okay, you look at Hyperdent, you have come across, those are very humorous ads. Still, people remember that. Okay, what they wanted to convey. Gum, it's a glue. Fevicol is a glue. and they are showing that how strong that glue is, and people are remembering till now. People remember Fevicol means a huge become grown over the years as a huge and strong brand. Okay, and accordingly they have a humorous advertisement, very creative ads. Every time there are not only one kind of ad they come out with. There are multiple different ads they have developed and they used to do. And if you remember that Vodafone ads, okay, during the few years ago, okay, around 5 6 years ago, they have come out with a very creative ad. Okay, and now with related to recently we have certain ads with related to Colgate. I feel mother is trying to adopt. Parents go and adopt a child, a smile, a beautiful smile. They have linked that, emotional feeling, a social, relevant message they would like to give. How a smile can change, situation and make it better with a mother smile. See that, creative, something different, some different appeal which has been used there. So that's the reason I said like how creative has makes a difference. Second step is you are planning a media strategy, creative strategy. Second comes execution of a creative strategy. So execution means implementation. Okay, implementation of the. So at this stage, the advertising agency or the marketing communication team makes the relevant efforts to execute the marketing and advertising strategy planned during the earlier stage. Whatever planned during the earlier stage, they would like to execute that. They would to prepare that and they would like to come out with that ad. So before that, they would like to do in some cases, many cases, they do the pre-testing of the advertisements. Okay, before it's been pan India or to the whole market before it is done. They would like to go with just trial and error. So for a smaller market, they would like to they would like to test the ad and they would like to get the feedback. So how the customers have taken that. Okay, before you go with the final execution, no. Before that, they will go with the pre-testing and try to find out like how the impact of the ad on the minds of the consumers, how they have taken it, and what did they feel about it. What changes happened after looking at watching that ad, or watching getting that information, and how effective was the ad. So everything, the whole ad campaign about the particular ad campaign. So no, that's just done because you are going to execute. Okay, you're going to implement whatever you planned in the first stage. Okay, planning creative strategy. Okay, so if things looks not great and initially in the pre-testing, those things you have time, you need to go with the making or bringing a change in your advertising campaign. You need to change according to the customer's needs after testing. So that would be great instead of going at a time to the whole market and getting a feedback and once again reworking on your ad, and once again that will create a lot of confusion and people may not like that. Already if it has created a negative impact on the minds of the consumers, they may not like it, have negativity towards a particular product or service or a brand. So you can avoid that. Okay, so by testing, pre-testing. So it's very important, company that has to consider this in the execution of the creative strategy. Okay, the advertising agencies should be very careful. Okay, they have to take all the relevant efforts and see that it's effectively done, the things have been effectively done and it reaches to the consumer. So that comes under execution or implementation of the creative strategy. Third stage, in the final stage, we say that evaluation and creative strategy. So once you executed and implemented that ad campaign, so it's where you need to look at. Okay, so how the things are happening on every stage. Okay, so you have to evaluate the effectiveness of the executed strategy through various post testing methods. Uh, it differs from company to company, differs from media to media. So you have to check how it has been happening. So you are implemented, you have gone with the ad campaign. How people have done. You have to evaluate and assess. Okay, so that is most important. See, post testing is conducted to estimate the net return on investment and determine the effectiveness of the advertising campaign. All post evaluation observations are recorded in a common database for future references and implementation for other projects. Because unless you evaluate, you won't come to know. Because we have been studying in the previous chapter, Dagmar approach. It says that advertising anything you are coming out with should measure in terms of results. And here also you are going to do the same thing. You're going to find out, okay, my ad campaign, what are the difference? And because of the ad campaign, what kind of returns I've got? I've invested so much on ad and everything. So how much return? Whether my sales are increasing day by day, my customer base is increasing, more inquiries I'm getting for my business or services, more sales are happening, more profitability. That shows that okay, things are happening for you. Slowly, your market share is increasing compared to your competitors. You have a better position. People started remembering your brand. Okay, people started liking your brand. Okay, so every data you have to get that. You need to assess that. You need to evaluate all those and get all those information to see that okay how the things are for you happen. This creative strategy, you have to assess because that will help you in coming out with the future plans. You can change or you can bring in some difference in the future plans. Other ads because you need to keep or bring in a freshness every time when you come out. Okay, you have to make the ad very attractive and people should remember and should feel like watching it or seeing it. Okay, so that's the reason. It might differ from media to media. For each media, you have to evaluate. Example, you have given the ad in a newspaper. You have to evaluate how that post has reached, or how that news has reached, or ad has reached. If you are given in the TV, you have to assess that. If you are given in the social media, so you have to assess that how many people that ad has reached, what is the response, how many people have commented, how many people have shared that. Example, it's simple. If you have put one post, advertisement post, um, social, Facebook. When you've done that, a poster you designed and you posted it that over there with a tagline, everything, whatever, write up, and see that after 24 hours, okay, what kind of engagement has happened? Example, how many people have liked that ad, and how many reaches you got the reaches, for that ad, and how many people have shared that. Okay, so that shows that immediately you come to know, okay, these are the people, this is how people have accepted that ad. Okay, they like this strategy, they like this creative ad. Okay, so this is how, very important. You need to gauge post testing, and based on that, because that will help you, changing the things. Because anything, everything is maintained, all the record is maintained. The important, and why? Because the reason is very simple. Because in future also, you required to go back and refer this because you are going to implement. There are so many new plans you must be having for your company, or so many products you might be planning to launch. Okay, over there you can use this, or whatever the information your kept database will be there with you. You can use that future, accordingly. You can plan for the future projects, products or services. Okay, next, topics we are going to discuss on advertising appeal or creative execution style. So it comes under implementation and evaluation. It covers creative strategy of implementation and evaluation. These two you could see here. Okay, execution. Okay, you're going to execute that and you're going to evaluate. So this come under these two. You have to advertising appeal. Execution. When you execute, advertising appeal will come. Creative and execution style. So we are going to discuss because this is going to be a part of those two stages. Okay, implementation and evaluation. Okay, so here you look at appeals and execution style. So we have discussed in the previous class like advertising appeals. Okay, so here once again in that creative ad, so what kind of appeal do you have? You want to do it? The approach used to attract the attention of the consumers. Okay, why advertising appeal? Because it's based on the kind of appeal you would like to do it. You can develop an ad. Okay, example, one theme. My appeal is like my ambition is to that save water, save water, or see one of the real examples only we can take it like a Bisleri. I hope you have watched the Bisleri ad. Anybody? Did you watch? Can you tell me? Anyone can tell me that what kind of Bisleri ad you have seen? You can share. You can unmute yourself and tell me. No one? Don't you remember? Your that Bisleri ad. So have you watched that Bisleri ad where camels go and bring the Bisleri bottle? You take the Bisleri
Yes,
bottle and bring.
sir.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Correct, no? So what did you
Yeah.
come to know? What that appeal is that, you know? I know that is very, very trendy, very humorous ad, very humorous ad. Okay. Uh, what, message they would like to give? What is the appeal? How they are appealing? How they are telling that?
It's kind of water means only Bisleri, don't give others.
Okay. So Bisleri would like to say about, our water is the best. You know,
Yeah,
they are not directly mentioning anyone. Other so many brands are there. Water brands are there. They're not mentioning anyone, but they are telling even Camel knows which is a good water. Correct. He would like to give some other water, but correct. Camel only picks the Bisleri water. Correct.
Bisleri.
Yeah, correct. Oh, even that means that even the camel animal in the camel knows, which is the good and the best water. So that's appeal. That's somewhere you're differentiating your product. Okay. For them, they use the humorous, creative ad. Humorous. It's very, very. You don't feel like boring watching that ad. Okay. But it has made a big difference. It says that how people remember that brand and people like that. They like that when the ad is good, people like. And obviously, when they remember, whenever next they buy the water, obviously they will prefer Bisleri because it says the advertising appeal is used to influence consumer feelings towards a product, service, or a cause. It might be anything. In the previous, chapter, we have discussed that. We have discussed that there are different kinds of appeal. Okay. uh, Very serious ads are there. Okay, social relevant ads are there. Okay, humorous ads are there. um, Emotional ads are there. Okay, so there are different kinds of ads because these are all the appeals through which you would like to influence the consumer. Because end of the day, I need to influence the consumer. If my ad is not making any difference, that means that my ad is bad. Okay, it is not igniting anything, so the ad is bad. It should cause something. It should shake the consumer. It should make something. Okay, oh, it's good. Otherwise, no, they may not like it. Okay. So similarly, you find there are a lot of different kinds of ads you come across every day. Many cases, it shows about their service. It shows differentiates the product. It says that we are the best. It shows that our quality is good. It says that there is no, we maintain a certain product quality or services. You find there is a human touch service in our company only. Okay, if you look at the LIC ad, it says that when I have a LIC, why I have to think about other policy, other companies. Those kind of ad. It says that LIC is there, then we don't think. Real people are real consumers. They are using there, and testimony. They are using the testimony concept there. Customers have been interviewed, and they said, "Darling, I have been doing it. I'm doing business. When LIC I have, why have to fear anything?" Okay, so that's how they create that you should have LIC, then you should not be bothered about any other company. Okay, so advertising appeal makes a difference. Okay, so that will be a part of the creative strategy when you have to implement that, execute that. This should be there. Based on that, your creative, you can develop an ad. Execution style, the way an appeal is turned into an advertising message. Okay, you have a message. You finalize the advertising appeal. This is appeal I want to do it, and accordingly, based on that, you want to influence the consumer. Agree. So then you have to say that how I turn this appeal into a message. Okay, how I turn this appeal. Okay, I want to appeal this consumer. Example, emotion. I want to give the feeling about patriotism. Okay, example, we have seen the Vikrant bike. We bikes Bajaj. So which is said that from the Vikrant warship, we have used that metal and we have manufactured. So somewhere that feeling, you know. So how we are going to convert? We are going to use that, and we have seen a lot of ads which are helping people, supporting people, okay, and showing the sympathy towards people. Those kind of ads we have seen because there is something which is there, and you are going to create one situation, and through that you would like to deliver that message, okay, advertising message, okay. And just now, a few minutes ago, I said no that Colgate ad. You have seen that parents will be standing outside the adaptation house or adaptation they want to adopt a child, and the parents are discussing, and the mother says that whether I can be a good mother, and the husband says, don't worry, you don't think about all those things. Okay. Then they enter. Somebody comes from the inside, calls them. They enter. There is a one small girl which is looking at them with a lot of fear and anxiety, and immediately the mother comes forward and gives a beautiful smile. And the moment she gives the beautiful smile, the child also gives back the beautiful smile, and she calls her mummy, mama. So you know that emotion, they are added. Their ad is the beautiful smile because of the right kind of toothpaste. Somewhere that feeling has been brought in there. Okay, so their message has been conveyed through that. Okay, so what is appeal is turned into the an advertising message execution style in the execution. Then the way the message is presented to the consumer, that also comes under execution style only. How we are going to present that message to the consumer, because through what kind of ad, who are the people who will be playing that role, what is the situation you are creating. Okay, the way how you would like to present. Okay, example, the present in the TV. Okay, you can have a television, TV, video, all those. You are going to create an ad. Okay, in the newspaper, how you are going to present it. Okay, in the social media, how you are going to present it. Everywhere you need to design that. Okay, the message you need to design how you would like to present that message to the end consumer. I hope you are following that what I'm explaining.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And there are different kinds of see, you look at the apart from emotional, humorous, I also explained, told you about rational appeals. Okay, so you look at the rational appeals. Which rational appeals are those which goes with a lot of planning and you know with all the information, with taking time, they come out with these appeals. So in under rational appeals, you could be a segregate. There are different kinds. You could see their features. Okay, under rational appeal, because it's a well planned. Rational appeal is something which is well thought, well planned. So you look at the features. It might be a feature based. In the feature based, you look at like more of a focus on a dominant product traits. Because if example your appeal is on the features only of the product or services, then you're concentrating on product features. What are the features this product has? Why you have to use it? What are the services? What are the quality this product has? Why it has makes a difference? Why it is different than others? So what you are doing, it's more in you're concentrating on the features. You would like to convey the message of about the products, features only. So that is called a appeal. Is called comes under rational appeal, which focus on the features of the products. Okay. Next, it will be competitive, because here the ads are more of competitive differentiation. It says that my brand is better than the other. They may not openly show the other brand there, but they will blur it. Sometimes they say that we are the best, there is no other person. If somebody is there, we'll give them cash back, we'll give the money back, that confidently they say, because that says that we are better than anybody else. Competitive kind of ads, competitive kinds of ads, creative. Okay, so that is one more thing which say that, you know then comes a price. You're talking about price, and accordingly you're developing a campaign on the price based advertising ad. Okay, makes price offer at the dominant point. So here the more highlight of the ad will be a price. Okay, immediately they show the product immediately, tuck, 30% off, you know on this product, so hurry up and buy. Immediately they show this is a something, the you get for the same price you get more quantity. In some cases, you find offer, discounts, buy one get one free, a lot of things, price based. You say that this is the best price. If you are going to get the lower than this price, we will give you full free. Those kind of ads you must have seen in the newspaper or in the televisions, like you buy, this is the lowest price which is offered. If anybody else is giving this in the market, we are going to give this product particularly free. So that kind of ads, you are concentrating on a price. Okay, ad is considered more on a price feature. Next comes the news is of a more of an announcement you are doing. So we are launching this, we are doing different, something on a more of a news based, okay, ads. Okay. Oh, there also, see, in all the ads, there requires a creativity that need to be followed, because you need to grab the attention of the consumer. So news oriented ads could be developed. Then the popularity is something you would like to stress on your brand enhancement, brand, you want to improve your brand popularity. So then this stressing on more of a brand. You're stressing on brand, and you're talking about how this brand is been great, why this brand is great, and you're going to add a story. You're going to some add your history or something, which makes the people understand. Okay, this is such a brand. Agree? I was not aware. So you feel like, okay, you feel like that. That makes a difference. You know, you show. There is something, popularity. Woodwards. Do you remember Woodwards, which will be given to the gripe water, which will be given to the babies? Uh, there was an ad which used to say that child cries, immediately the mother gives the Woodwards. Then immediately her granny tells, mother's mother tells, yeah, I used to give the same thing to you, my daughter. And her mother, once again in the home, she tells, I also used to give the gripe water to my, your granny. That means like 2, 3 generations continuously they are using the same brand of gripe water, because that's good quality. It's been there from so many years. It's well believed, and everybody is accepted that, and high quality. So that's how, what I mean to say, that popular. They want to show that how better they are. So we are in hardly 30 seconds left now. I hope you have understood the concepts, like how important having the creative strategy. Okay. Keep on reading, um, and we'll continue in the next class. If you have any queries, you can ask any through the message or whatever. Okay. Okay then. Thank you very much. We'll